If you've ever left an argument or conversation feeling more confused than when you first started, then you might be a victim of manipulation. Hello y'all, welcome back to another video dedicated to help you break out of the cycle of toxic behaviors and relationships in your personal and romantic area of your life. In this video, we're going to be talking about the subtle, sneaky tactics that a manipulator will utilize to try to control an argument, leaving you more confused. Disclaimer, all of these tactics are generalized, so decide what resonates with you. If you want to dive a little bit more in depth with your relationship and work on it one-on-one, you can book a call with me, link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 1, devaluation. Now, I created a little bit of a deep dive conversation breakdown video over here on my TikTok and Instagram. So if you're interested in understanding what this might look like in an actual conversation, make sure you click the link in the description below so you can watch that video. But what devaluation is when someone tries to make you feel less than or insignificant by criticizing, belittling, or even downplaying how you are feeling or what you are doing. Oftentimes you'll see a lot of narcissists utilize this behavior to make you feel as if you're not good enough so that you will start to question yourself in an argument. They will nitpick your word choice, they'll question your tone of voice, they'll question the validity. Oftentimes people will resort to devaluation because they deep down have a wound of judgment and don't feel good enough themselves. And so because this wound of judgment says that someone is always wrong or right in a relationship, it cannot be them that is wrong. That is too painful for them to experience. And so in some way or form, they will make you feel as if you are the person that's wrong. Even if it doesn't pertain to the subject that you were originally talking about in an argument, they will point out something that is insignificant, not relatable to the argument, something about you, your character flaw, to make you feel as if you are wrong. And this way they can control the conversation, make you feel not good enough, and have you doubt the validity of why you started this argument in the first place. So when it comes to devaluation, you want to discern whether or not your partner feels any sense of remorse for making you feel bad. Is this malicious intent, or is this something that they're not noticing but they're projecting because of the wound of judgment that they have? But with that said, tactic number 2, triangulation. Now, a lot of narcissists will maliciously and intentionally use triangulation to try to manipulate the conversation to make you feel as if you are wrong. And the way that they do this is that they rope in a third person, whether it's hypothetical or physical, and they get this person to be by their side so that they can pit two opinions against yours. When this happens, you'll often feel confused, you might feel embarrassed, you might feel maybe they're right, it's 2 against 1. And I do want to know, this is completely different than having a couples therapist mediate a conversation because they're coming from a neutral standpoint versus roping in a friend that they know will be by their side so that they can intentionally make you feel bad and manipulate the conversation. An argument should be between 2 people. It is a private and intimate conversation. Unless both parties agree that they might want a third opinion and some other help, then maybe they will ask someone else to have a different perspective. But in many occasions, you want to avoid putting someone in a position where they're hearing 2 partners arguing and trying to fix the problem. And not only will you create this awkwardness for the third party to be in because now they're in a position between you and your partner and they feel responsible to fix your problem, but you will also ostracize your partner and make them feel other than. And that is the last thing that you want to do when you're in an argument. You want to make your partner feel as if you're by their side and it's you guys versus the problem, not them versus someone else and the problem. And what triangulation could look like hypothetically is if you hypothetically mention someone else and compare that person to your partner. This can sound like, oh, well, this person is okay with it. Why can't you be? Well, my ex were fine. We did this thing all the time. It was not a big deal. You see, hearing those statements is number 1, absurd. Number 2, so hurtful to your partner. You never want to compare a relationship with your partner. And when you are making your partner feel like their point is invalid because of someone else's opinion, you are letting them know that the other person's opinion is more valuable than theirs. Now, the reason why some people might resort to triangulation is malicious intent. A lot of narcissists do it, but it can also be unintentional. A lot of times people will use this tactic because they have a deep-seated wound of insecurity as well as jealousy, and they feel the need to control the conversation because they do not want to feel out of control. And so they will use this tactic to belittle their partner's emotions and invalidate their partner's thoughts, so they can instill a sense of competition and other than to make their partner feel bad and they can feel in control. Tactic number 3, they will use sarcastic humor to minimize your emotions and tell you that they were just joking. I've seen this happen way too many times in relationships, and people think that it is okay to tell your partner something hurtful and cruel and slap a "I'm just joking" afterwards to release the tension. The "I'm just joking" does not serve as an apology. It is just a way for someone to be offensive and then try to get away with it afterwards by minimizing your emotion. They do this by saying you're just being sensitive, it was just a joke, it's not a big deal. And it can feel very invalidating for their partner, especially in an argument, because they are trying to talk about something serious and have a genuine, deep conversation when the other partner is not showing any signs that they are taking it seriously. In fact, they are making fun of their partner for taking it too seriously. When this imbalance occurs in a relationship, it can often make the other partner feel as if they're not good enough, as if they're not taken seriously, and they have to yell and scream to try to prove themselves. And people often utilize this tactic because they don't have a healthy relationship with conflict. They do this because they're trying to deflect responsibility onto you because they are too afraid to take accountability for their actions. But instead of doing this directly, they might have learned growing up that it is not okay to be direct about something that they're upset about. Everything was always passive aggressive and not spoken about directly. And so they learned that they will do these subtle things to express themselves even if it is unhealthy and hurtful. With that said, these are 3 subtle and sneaky ways that someone may try to manipulate and control the conversation so that you feel as if you are wrong. Comment down below if you've ever been a victim to any of these tactics, because sometimes it can be hard to recognize that you are in the middle of manipulation in an argument. And it can be also hard to realize that maybe you might be the one that's trying to manipulate a conversation without realizing. So if you're ready to break out of the cycle of toxic relationships, make sure you click the link in the description below to book a call with me. But with that said, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next Friday. As always, you got this.